name is Jonah Light. I'm a commercial and event photographer here in Los Angeles. I'll give a quick background on who I am. I'll give myself my timer also so I can feel my own hot seat coming at me. Good, all right. Born here in Los Angeles, raised here in Los Angeles. I moved to the Valley when I was in high school. I then went to UC Santa Barbara for undergrad. I got a double major in psychology and comparative religions. For a year during college, I went to Israel. Started taking a lot of pictures, got excited about it, never thought about doing it for real. Came back, graduated from college, and then realized I really wanted to be a photographer. My wife and I traveled for about a year, and I had about 200 rolls of film that I shot on my camera that I had gotten for graduation. So then I worked on my portfolio, went to a place called the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena. Errol Gerson, who was our speaker last month, is one of my professors from there. It's an incredible school. I was there for 3 years, got my BFA in photography. And here I am. I've now been out of school for about 12 years and doing what I'm doing. So I was thinking about what it is I should talk about today. I did think about bringing my portfolio and putting it on the big screen, but I didn't do that. I thought about taking a bunch of pictures and kind of showing you guys comparisons, but what I thought would be the most effective was to type out this little sheet here, 5+1 easy ways to take better and look great in pictures. The idea here is that nowadays we all have cell phones that have 8.1 megapixel cameras in them. It kills me to walk around and kind of see people doing what they're doing and not really realizing. Someone who's this close to the frame will kind of zoom in and out versus just walking forward or walking back. If you don't understand why it's important, you don't know, but it's important to fill the frame more versus doing a little zoom thing because it just cuts out pixels. Anyways, so I have here 5 insights into how to take better pictures. I'm going to not get to all of them, but if you hold on to this, and if you want to talk to me later, I can give you more insights into each one, and I'll get through a couple of them, which will hopefully help you take better pictures, both with your cell phones as well as your nice point and shoots, as well as your SLR, big fancy cameras. So the first thing you want to do when you're taking pictures is think about the angle you're taking the picture from. Most people just kind of stand straight ahead, and with their phone, they'll just take the picture. Which is usually fine because most people are about eye level with each other. But if it happens that you're shooting pictures of little kids, it's really important to not just aim down at them, but to actually get down to their eye level. The idea when you're taking a picture is you're trying to share with the world the way you just saw something. You think what you're looking at is important enough to share with other people. So if you're looking down, you're not really interacting. But if you get a picture of a child at eye level or especially below eye level, then it really makes it engaging. And then the viewer later on sees the picture and feels like they're a part of it, and it makes it a worthwhile picture versus just a snapshot of a kid's head. What else? If you're an adult, when you're taking headshots or any other shots, it's good to have the person holding the camera at least at eye level, if not a bit above you. If you can imagine that if you're kind of shooting from below, looking up at the person, you're going to get the double chin, you're going to get your nose, it's not very attractive. However, if you're looking head on, or even kind of from above, when you're kind of looking up, it pulls your chin a little bit, especially if you kind of turn yourself a little bit like this, it's even more slimming. Hold your breath a little bit, makes you look good. So whenever someone's getting a picture of you, make sure they're at least eye level, if not higher up. And same for you, people, when you get shots of them, make sure you're making them look flattering. Here's an interesting thing. When I see people taking a picture with their cell phone like this, but there's one person and there's just like a lot of nothing behind them, in the picture, in the frame, you're going to have this one vertical thing, object, i.e. a person, and just stuff, or nothing. What you want to do is people are vertical objects. If you have one person or 2 people, and they're kind of standing close together, it's a vertical object. Turn your camera, or your iPhone, vertical, and they will fill the frame more, and it will be a more interesting picture, and you can see them better. When you have a group of 3 or more, you want to step back a tiny bit and go like that, and then you can get kind of their heads and their chests and make it more engaging. That's just something to know. 1 or 2 people, vertical, more horizontal. If you're going to have a whole group of people, you don't really want to do the whole lineup of 15 people all at once. It's just not so exciting, and everyone's heads are about that big. If you can take some chairs, and if you have 15 people, have 5 sit in chairs, and the other 10 wrap around. And also get creative. Have people kind of lean down a little bit, or if there's an arm on the chair, you can have somebody sit like this. Get people to look like they're kind of hanging out. It's a lot more interesting than one big police lineup. If you're taking video, everyone, again, everyone has iPhones. Right. When you're taking video, naturally, you want to do it up and down. But you realize most video is played on a screen, which is a horizontal. So if you take video up and down, horizontal, sorry, vertical, it's not going to look good if you ever play it back on a real TV. So you always want to take video horizontal. I think I messed up. No. Ooh, wow. Already 5 minutes. Crazy. All right. So I'll give you number 2 on my 5 easy ways to take good pictures. Make pictures look real. If you get someone to stand there, everyone lined up, say, okay, 1, 2, 3, cheese, right? It's not super real. If you can catch that moment where everyone says cheese for that 1 second when they're smiling, and they weren't smiling before, it's a real moment. But once people are holding the cheese for a second or 2 or 3 or 4, it's not attractive. So you want to do something that I call a posed candid shot. You want to get people lined up, get them ready for the shot, and then give them like a count. 1, 2, 3, and then they all, say cheese at the same time, or say something funny to get their attention, and then they laugh. For that 1 second, it's a real laugh, and you caught it. You have them all lined up the way you want, but it's a real moment that you caught. Way better. There's also different ways to get people to laugh. I have a special trick I do at weddings when I have a whole bunch of people lined up and I have little kids that will not look at you. A special trick called the elephant. Like this. 1, 2, 3. And all the kids look up, and that 1 second snap, and I got it. And it works like twice, and then the kids don't care anymore, but in that moment, you got it. So it's a great way to get kids and get everyone to look. And then it's actually kind of funny, because then as I'm doing other shots of other people at the end, they're like, do the elephant again. And it's like, the grandparents are like, you really want the elephant? Okay. But they love it. Don't be afraid to make a fool out of yourself. It makes people laugh, and it'll help you get good pictures. And as long as you know, and they know, that you're really just being silly to make them laugh for the picture, for them to look good, it's okay. Alright, wow. Back up your files. Always make sure that whatever pictures you have them backed up somewhere. I have a good friend of mine who had somebody break into his apartment and they stole his laptop, which had all of his wedding pictures. Gone. Nowadays, a 2 terabyte hard drive from Office Depot is like $100, $130 if you don't get it online. Back your stuff up. It's not a big deal. You plug it in, hit copy, and it's done. Get 2 of them. Keep one at your parents' house, and then keep one at home. Just so you have copies of your stuff, your important stuff. Even if you don't have it the most current backed up, at least you have your pictures from your whole life up until the last month. Back it up. The other thing is to make sure that you print stuff out. Now in the digital age, we all take a lot of pictures and we never really print them out. It's kind of a hassle to print them. One thing that I actually am not good at doing, but I know I should do, which we all should do, is go on to Snapfish, go on to iPhoto with these programs that you can hit a button, it'll take all your photos and put them in there. Even if it's not really pretty, if you can just take once every 6 months all your photos and do a quick edit to pull out the real trash shots, and then just print it. At least you'll have a record of your life. And you can, for $20, you then have a book of the last 6 months of your life. So at least you can flip through and see what you have and see where you've been and remember, where you are, where you're going. I want to give 1 or 2 other points. Right. So when you're outdoors, shooting outdoors is always a challenge. What I always do is I always look for shade. Especially when it's a sunny day out, people think, oh, it's sunny, it's great. Not so great. A lot of sunlight, especially if you have half sun and half not sun, it's really contrasty. Our eyes are used to it. Our human eyes are the best cameras out there. Actually, owls have better cameras in their heads than we do. But from a camera standpoint, you want to have flat lighting, even lighting. If the sun is going down and the sun is right on you, and that's great. Or if you're in total shade, then that's great also. But you don't want to have half and half and splotchy, because you'll get the picture back, and either people will be totally black and then nicely exposed in the light, or the light will be totally blown out in white, and then so always look for even lighting. Okay, last 2 thoughts. One is to shoot a lot. In the digital age, film costs nothing because it's digital, and you can keep shooting it. When you're taking pictures, take a number of them. It's not just that 1 or 2. You can take a bunch and get creative. Move to the right, to the left, get up, get down, do vertical, horizontal, try your flash on, try your flash off. As long as people aren't mad at you for taking too long, if you take 5 or 6 or 10 different ways of doing it, you'll get a good shot. That's not necessarily the most professional way to do it, but if there's nothing stopping you from doing it, that'll get you the good shot, and again, it doesn't cost you anything. And you now have the incredible advantage of knowing instantly what you just did. If you try with the flash on and the flash off, you'll know instantly if it actually looks good. With that in mind, if you're outside, it's often good to put your flash on. You would think, hey, it's outdoors, there's enough light. If you have, it's called the fill flash. The flash outside will actually fill in shadows. So even though you don't notice them to your human eye, when you have your camera, the shadows look pretty dark. But if you have your fill flash, as long as the person is pretty close in front of you, it'll light them up, and then your subject becomes the subject, and the background falls back to the background. Last idea on here is to be present. The advantage of being a photographer forces me or allows me to look at the world and be excited about it. I'm always looking at colors and light and shapes and perspective. And because it's my job to do that, I'm always looking at it, and it helps me, and it kind of forces me to be excited about my world. And I love it. I love being at a wedding and having the opportunity to climb behind the chuppah and get behind the people, and that's my job. If I didn't do that, that would be my job.
He does it too.
I do it. And it frustrates me to be at an event, or anywhere in the world, and to not be able to walk around and do that. I want to experience it. I want to, from every angle. That being said, when I first started keeping Shabbat, the hardest thing out of Shabbat was for me not to have a camera. When I was taking pictures, especially before I did it as a professional, I would always have my camera on me. My wife would joke it was our first child. And I'd have it on me wherever we go. And then I started keeping Shabbat, and I couldn't take a picture. And these incredible life experiences were happening, and I couldn't catch them. And I had to learn that it's okay. You gotta be present. So while on one hand having a camera helps push you to look at the world in a bunch of different ways, putting it down and being present and being with your family, or being at the graduation, or being at the play, and working on being at the play and being in that life experience is huge. So while we have the ability to record everything in HD, in HDR, and all these different ways all the time, and share it and post it on Pinterest and all that fun stuff, you still want to work on being present and being you and being in your world. That being said, I'm going to close out by saying, if you flip on the back, I have some interesting smartphone apps. In the world of smartphones and in this world we're in, everything keeps moving faster. There's a lot of really cool applications out there that are free or $1 that can make your pictures look really cool. So take a look at these. If you have an iPhone, I know these are all available. If you have an Android or something else, BlackBerry, fun like that, they probably have these as well. Check them out, play with them, have fun. And let's see, I have over there my commercial portfolio as well as my event portfolio. If you get a chance to take a peek at it, I've got some little flyers, I've got some stickers. We have jelly beans for whoever gives good referrals. So thanks for listening, thanks for coming, and stay fun.